Today we are going to have a look at the second gen OpenFit earbuds from Shokz to see how much of an improvement they bring over the OG OpenFit. For those who want a quick and easy answer, well, we get loads of upgrades. But if you want a bit more details than that, just stuck with me for the next couple of minutes as I will try and shed more light on what's changed. Hi, my name is Andy and you're watching Andy's Tech Tone. Quick disclaimer, I got the earbuds for testing from Shokz, but I'm not getting paid, nor did I give preview privileges to anyone, so all you get is my honest and unfiltered opinion. So going back to the first gen OpenFit buds, my initial impressions were great as I loved their compact, lightweight and comfortable design and their warm and punchy sound. But as with most things first gen, those earbuds were not without issues. There was a noticeable distortion in the bass at higher volumes, the touch controls were lacking functionality, and while their fit was secure, I believe that those ear hooks were a little bit on the flimsy side, especially when compared to competitors with more solid and in some cases even adjustable designs. So when I first saw that the new model was coming, I thought, okay, if Shokz managed to fix most of these issues, then we might be in for a treat with the Gen 2 buds. And I'm happy to say that they indeed found a way to improve meaningfully on most fronts while keeping all the positives the predecessor had to offer from the get-go. First, let's see the general design, which remained more or less the same with only minor cosmetic changes. The new earbuds are almost a whole gram heavier, but the overall feel and comfort is still top of the class. We still do not have rotatable or tiltable ear hooks, but the wire they used for those ear hooks look the tiniest bit thicker and feels sturdier too, which is an improvement in itself. The soft silicone coating is very similar, if not the same as before, so that again delivers the long-term comfort the first gen buds were well known for. When it comes to the IP rating, we got a little bump from IP54 to IP55, which from a longevity standpoint can be beneficial. The OpenFit 2 can handle dust, rain and sweat with ease. The earbuds are perfect for runners or cyclists, whether you wear a baseball cap, a beanie, sunglasses or a helmet, the compact design will not interfere with what you wear on your head. The carry case got a touch more rounded on the corners and it also got ever so slightly thinner, so it's now even more pocket-friendly than before. The hinge is springy and it comes to a hard stop when fully open, which gives us hassle-free access to the earbuds themselves. Now, what I don't like is the fact that the two ear hooks are overlapping and figuring out which one is on top can be confusing at times. But that's just a small price we have to pay for that compact form factor of the case. Another little gripe I have is with the placement of those new buttons, as they are right at the spot where I used to grab the first gen buds, and I keep pressing on those buttons all the time when taking the OpenFit 2 out of their case. Maybe it's not an issue for most of you, and you can always grab the buds by the ear hooks as well, so let's just move on. And since I mentioned the buttons, let's talk about the controls. Now, this is one of the areas where the first gen buds kind of failed, having only a touch panel with quite a limited set of functions on each side. On the new model, they did not only keep the touch panels, but we also got these tactile buttons at the top of each speaker unit. And with all that, we now have fully functional media playback, phone call and voice assistant controls. We are not forced to choose between track and volume controls anymore, because it's all available at the same time thanks to the extended functionality of those new buttons. We get a tactile feedback with a nice and clicky sound, the volume of which can be adjusted in the app. Reaction times are prompt and the buttons work well in all conditions, be it rainy, hot and sweaty or cold with gloves on. Single press is always play pause, but the double, triple and long press sections and the touch functions are customizable to some degree in the Shokz smartphone app. And having access to all sorts of control options at any given moment is all I wanted, so big thumbs up for that. We still don't have smart sensors for autoplay pause, but given the open-ear nature of the buds, it might be not as big of a deal at all. And again, overall, the controls are a huge leap forward as far as both usability and functionality compared to the OG OpenFit. And the engineering team also managed to crank out more playtime from the batteries on board. The Gen 2 buds can last up to 11 hours compared to the 7 hours we got from the predecessors, and the total use time with the case went up to 48 hours from 28. The fast charging performance got a 2x treatment, as 10 minutes of charging can now give us 2 hours of use as opposed to 5 minutes and 1 hour before. Ideally, they would have added wireless charging as well, but that for some reason is still not on the menu, so we are going to have to use the USB Type-C port at the back of the case. But at the end of the day, the battery department delivered a commendable increase in performance, which is noticeable during everyday use. Onto the wireless features, the Bluetooth connection was rock solid during my tests with no signal dropouts or lip sync issues with movies. And we also get multi-point aka dual device connection with the OpenFit 2. But other than that, the Bluetooth 5.4 compliant chip only brings the basic features to the table, such as support for AAC and SBC and single baud mode. There are no high-res codecs or a low-latency game mode in the Shokz smartphone app. What you will get, however, is a multi-point pairing menu in that app where you can manually switch between all your previously connected devices. It's not something you were able to do with the first-gen buds right out of the gate, as multi-point was added through a firmware update at a later point in time. But right now, both earbuds can do the same thing. We also get the same audio presets along with a 5-band manual EQ. What's new here is the more comprehensive custom control options and Find My Earbuds, which allows you to ping each of the buds in case you misplace them, and it's a feature that's missing from the first-gen model.
And now let me give you a few mic samples. So this is the audio quality you can expect from the built-in microphones on the Shokz OpenFit 2 when making a phone call in a quiet room. And for the sake of a quick comparison, here is another sample. This time the audio is coming from the built-in mics of the original OpenFit buds in a quiet room. Now let's move the whole party outside to see how the earbuds can handle some of the elements, such as a slight breeze or some traffic noise in the background. So what you can hear right now is the audio sample from the built-in mics on the Shokz OpenFit 2. And here's another quick comparison with the first generation OpenFit buds, so you can tell me in the comments down below whether you can hear any meaningful difference between the two.
And now let's discuss the sound quality. My biggest gripe with the predecessors was the audible distortion in the bass over 60 or 70% of volume. And no matter how smooth, warm and punchy the sound was otherwise, that graininess and muddiness at the bottom octave made using the buds at higher output kind of impossible. Which was a real struggle, as you really need to crank up the volume when running or cycling outside, especially in noisy places. So that sound was a bit of a letdown. But with the new buds, Shokz probably wanted to make sure that they delivered the best sound possible, so now we got not just a single speaker, but a dual driver setup on each side. Shokz calls this their dual boost technology. There is a smaller speaker to cover the higher frequencies and a larger one for a powerful and clean bass. And by open-ear standards, the sound is indeed outstandingly dynamic and nuanced across the whole range. So far my favorites were the OpenRock X with their balanced and punchy yet open and airy sound, but the Shokz buds have more low-end impact, a bigger dynamic range, warmer mids and a higher maximum volume. The highs might be more rolled off on the Shokz, but that only makes them more comfortable to listen to in the long run. The OpenRock X offers more forward vocals with a wider and more airy image, while the OpenFit 2's soundscape is more center-focused and less diffuse. But most importantly, the bass is clean and distortion-free across the whole volume range. Maybe with the volume maxed out, some distortion starts to creep into the lowest octaves, but at that point the earbuds are very loud and you better keep the volume below the 90% mark, where the sound is clean but still plenty loud to cover all use cases. And while the maximum volume is a touch higher than that of the OpenRock X, sound leakage is about the same, which means that people within a couple of feet might be able to hear what you are listening to at higher volumes, as long as you are in a quiet room. Altogether, the sound is dynamic, warm and punchy, so that's another box ticked on my what needed to be fixed wishlist. And to wrap all this up, let's go through that list of mine again. So, sound quality improvement, check. Better, more usable controls, check. Fit and design, well, it was all good before, but I feel like the ear hooks got more sturdy, and while the buds gained some weight, the overall comfort was not impacted, so that's a check too. We also got more juiced up batteries and a more up-to-date wireless chip. The app offers more flexibility in terms of customization, and we also get Find My Buds. So, all in all, I believe it's an easy conclusion to make. The Shokz OpenFit 2 is a huge upgrade over its predecessor, and since it comes in at the same price point of $180, it puts them in the highly recommended category. For whatever reason, as of making this video, I cannot see the second-gen buds on either the UK or any of the European websites from Shokz, but for availability and actual prices, you can always check out the affiliate links in the description. And that's it for today. If you liked the video, then please give it a thumbs up, and of course, if you have any questions or thoughts to share, then we can continue the discussion in the comment section down below. I might do some more comparisons in the future with the OpenFit 2, as it's a worthy contender on all fronts, so stay tuned and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching everyone, hope to see you all in the next one.